I had different countries in my mind because when I graduated from high school, I was not sure of what I'm gonna do or what I'm gonna study because I had three options. It was either I study civil engineering or medicine or law. But the thing is, if I had to study law, I had to do it in my own country, Zambia. If I had to do medicine, my option was India. And if I wanted to do civil engineering, my option was China. So civil engineering has been my passion from when I was a kid because, you know, my dad was a civil engineer and he was my role model. So every time I would look up to him and every time I would say one day I would very much love to be like this man, my father. So I really chose for civil engineering and the first option was China. My mom wasn't really comfortable with me going abroad because, you know, it's not easy to watch your child go away in a very distant land. And yeah, I know I'm not a parent, but I know the feeling because I wouldn't allow my child to, yeah. So it wasn't easy for her, so it was a process for her to adjust, and I had to explain to her and just give her that reassurance, you know, that everything will be fine, because that's what every parents need, I think, reassurance. Yeah, so basically it wasn't easy for my mom to watch me go away in a distant land, but well, it was my dream. So I consider China because it's really growing in terms of its manufacturing industry, its construction industry. It's kind of dominating worldwide. So that's why I chose China, because I knew if I come here, I would open up many connections. And yeah, so I really highly considered coming here. So that's why I came here. And one other thing I came here was because it's very easy to get admission into most of the universities because of the strong relations that are there between my country, Zambia, and China. So I found it easier to apply coming to China compared to studying in my country. If I am to do engineering in my own country, it will be really, really difficult because, you know, you find the situation whereby engineering school, maybe 1,000 students are enrolled, right? But after 4 years graduation, only 20 students graduate as civil engineers. Where do the other students go? They go into teaching, or they stay in their homes doing nothing, or they apply and come to China and study the same civil engineering, and they graduate and they become civil engineers. I see a situation whereby there's so many Africans who are coming to study in China. I really think as the number of years go on and on, the number of students who come to study in China will increase exponentially because, you know, China is all over the news. This great giant, this nation, this huge construction country, and this beautiful country. Everyone would love to study here. Everyone would love to come here. Everyone would love to have a taste of what China is all about. And I think in the years to come, there will be so many people who be coming to study in China. And because of the relations, as I said, it will be easy for me to get admission into university in China compared to if I go to America, or in some cases in my own country. Because, you know, you tend to find that there's some times whereby I graduate, right? I'm from high school. I have my results, and I can't say they're perfect, but they're okay. And there I go, I apply into a university in my country, let's say one of the biggest institutions, University of Zambia. I apply for engineering, but they tell me no, because your results are not so good, and for engineering the type of results we want are this type, so we wouldn't enroll you for civil engineering, but instead would consider you for teaching. You see, engineering, teaching. So most people would say, oh, why not just apply to China? I know if I apply with my results, I'll go for civil engineering. So most people come to study in China because it's easy, and everyone comes here, and it's like drinking water. You apply, you're selected. Admission takes 1 week, 5 days, 3 days. In most countries, it takes like 6 months to get admission. So people opt to come here. Yeah, I've learned of the Chinese work culture. I found out that the Chinese are really committed to doing something. They really do their work perfectly and on time. They're really devoted, and I really admire that about the Chinese people. If they have a project, they'll make sure that they do it in the set period of time, and they really don't care even if they work overnight for it. I find that some construction sites, they work overnight throughout the night. They use the torches and the lamps and everything like that just to finish a project on time. You don't find that in my country, no. Even though it's hard for me to admit it, but I really think we also need that type of work culture in my own country, number one. Number two, one other thing I've learned, which I'll take back home, is the Chinese way of cooking the food. I know I've had my interactions with the Chinese people, and through them, yeah, it's been really productive. I've learned how to make a lot of Chinese dishes, and I think it would be really good if I really picture myself going home and really doing those cooking. I know people would find them weird, but I think I would really love to share with my family and everyone, just give them a taste of how Chinese food tastes like. Even the use of the chopsticks, I think most times my relatives really love asking me or my friends back home, they're like, how do you manage to use those sticks? How can you eat with sticks? But I would really love to teach them, all these things. So yeah, I think all these things I'll take back with me, but the most important is the work culture. I would really love it to be integrated into our own working culture. My experience has been really good, but it hasn't been as paid to my expectations, you know. As I said before, China is a very huge giant in terms of construction, right? Yeah, and the thing is, these technologies are produced in China, and China is Chinese, not English. You understand my point, right? So, um, you come to study in China, you want to do your major in English. There's that conflict of interest, because mostly even the lecturers here, the Chinese lecturers, they are very, very confident. They really know what they're doing, but in Chinese. So it becomes a little bit of a problem if they are forced, or they teach the major, which is civil engineering, in another language, which is English. So that has been my only problem with studying here, because most of the times it's really difficult, especially for my lecturers, to freely express themselves in English.